Hi everyone, in this video I'll be talking about my summer internship in a client-based startup MonkUp during the duration of the internship from 30th March to 31st July. About the company MonkUp, it is a client-based IT firm that provides services in emerging technologies like AR, VR, blockchain, game development and AI. They have worked with many renowned companies like Aditya Birla Group, PwC and Aerosys, and have helped them their business to grow by helping in designing and product development. My role in the company was of Unity developer training, and the responsibilities included planning and implementing game functionality, transforming the design ideas given by the clients into functional games, and designing and building game codes, also identifying the code errors and the bottlenecks that are being created in the game. The training I received was only during the first 2 weeks of the internship, and as I was familiar with the Unity engine, I was given to learn the more advanced topics of Unity. I was told to learn API and the functionalities like post, put, get and delete, and use these functionalities in Unity to create applications. I was also told to learn about scriptable objects, its advantages over singletons and prefabs, and demonstrating these advantages by creating an application on Unity. Now on to the project which I worked on. The project's name was Webzotic, and it was a business strategy game where the players will develop their bases by creating businesses and attack enemy locations to gain more locations and resources to expand their empire. Out of this, my module was known as location gameplay. It was concerned with the logic, animation, and the look aspects when a player occupies a location or attacks the location of other player, which involved adding attack logic, destroy animation, effects like ripple effects, border redraw, and many others. The project was planned in 4 phases. There was phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 and phase 4. Phase 1 was mainly understanding the project and the assets that I'll be using to carry out the work on the project. Phase 2 involved matching the textures, animations and effects according to clients' requirements. The phase 3 was the most important one. It involved mainly the logic behind how the game will work. And the phase 4 was optimizing the game and fixing the bugs and bottlenecks that occurred. So in the first phase, my task was to get familiar with the client's requirements and project idea so that I know what the final product is. And after the idea was clear, I was given a paid asset known as World Map Global 2, which I had to explore, as it had around 14 different demos and tens of scripts which implemented many different functionalities, and we just required some of the functionalities, and that too the functionalities were we had to edit the functionalities according to our requirements. The phase 2 was matching the look, textures, animations and effects according to the client's requirements, which was mainly a short CGI video from Shutterstock, as shown in on the PowerPoint. We had to match our globe diagram according to that. We also had to implement the ripple effects that occur in the image. We also had to implement the border redraw, which the client had shown in a different video. We also so this took around a month, and there was continuous feedback and supervision by my project manager He told me to make certain tweaks and certain changes that would make it more similar to the client's requirements. It was particularly challenging because the asset which we were given did not have these textures or animations, and we had to code it by ourselves to implement these functionalities. The phase 3 was next, the most important one, implementing the logic. But has the logic of the game had to be thought before implementing on the code, so this work was more off the code than on the code. So that's why I had to we had to work on think about the logic. We had to see that if this happens, if it's stretched to its limits, will it work or not. So that's why the game was planned to at the start to be a simulation, so that due to its random nature, it checks all the extremes and we would know what the bugs are. The phase 4 was mainly optimization and fixing bugs. After the first 3 phases, when we were running the game, we found out that the game was performing very poorly after 2-3 minutes, when the map got full with many different assets, and also the storage of the application that we built was around 800 MB. So after learning about optimization techniques from the internet, and using the Unity profiler to find out the bottlenecks, I was able to optimize the game, and with a regular average frame rate of 60 frames per second, and at the least frame rate it would touch what would be 30 frames per second. Also, I was able to bring the storage around 50 MB by removing assets which are not required, and optimizing and compressing the images that we were using. This internship was very helpful to for my learning, as it taught me to one of the most important aspects of programming, which was problem solving. I learned how many problems will occur during the development, and those can be solved by looking into many different resources found on the internet, which include documentations, videos. I also learned that a problem can be solved in many different ways, and it's better to use and explore all the ways so that we find the best way. The second thing I learned was implementing new concepts. Like, I have worked on many personal projects, but many personal projects don't require that difficulty, that level of skills, and that level of difficulty in the concepts. So when I was working on a client-based project, I learned many new things like object pooler, line renderer, mesh renderers, and complex animations, which will help me when I pursue a career in game development. I also learned using a pre-made asset, as generally when you make a personal project, it's about making a project using assets that are particularly made for the project, or by making it from scratch. But this was a pre-made asset which had functionalities which we need to edit, change and implement according to our requirements. So this was particularly difficult, as we had to look to many scripts, understand many complex code while implementing the project. The fourth and important thing I learned was teamwork and source control, as there was continuously there were meetings with the project manager regarding how what our requirement is and how it should be. The project manager would continuously recommend changes which I had to implement. I also use source control tools like Bitbucket to continuously update the code, and also send the build to the project manager so that he can check how the progress of the project is. The credits or the persons who helped me during this internship were, I would like to thank my project head, Mr. Abhishek. He was my project head, and he was the main person of contact during the internship. He conducted regular meetings to provide tasks and suggest changes that would be required so that my project is similar to the client's requirements. He also gave me hints when I was stuck on a difficult problem that came during development. The second was the vice president of tech, Mr. Dishant. He's the head of the game development division of Monkup, and he was the one who conducted my interviews for the internship, and also he was the one who saw my skills and assigned me to the Webzotic project. The third person was the HR head, Miss Simran. She was my person of contact when I faced any difficulties or I had some problems during the internship. She also helped me, induct into the company smoothly by conducting the orientation program, which helped me understand how the company functions. Thank you for listening to me.